It feels super strange. Why does it feel strange? So in this video, I want to talk about the cancel culture that goes on right now. And the way you show up in front of the camera, or it can be even in front of other people, will also be the same way you show up in life. And then you show up in life the same way you show up in front of the camera. In my hallucination, it creates many times shame, sadness, or not being able to express what maybe you want to express, and therefore you're not feeling important, and like, oh, I'm not important, and what I'm sharing is not important, so therefore there's no idea to share it. But maybe your information is actually probably the opposite. So it's really important. For some reason, society don't want you to know certain things. I started to create on TikTok and it totally shut me down on basically all of them. I had one video that totally blew up. I think I had 400,000 views and shitloads of comments, and then some time after that TikTok decided, and also I put it on YouTube, and YouTube like, no, you can't speak about this is not okay, it's integrity, blah blah blah. Therefore they took that away, and it took them away after some time, and then they took the whole account away. And I kind of like felt like, I've been creating all of these videos and I got traction with all of them, and all of a sudden my account is totally erased, and I kind of like basically gave it up, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna create anymore. But from this point on, like, I've been realizing, I've been healing the wounding that actually created the cancellation in the first place. So when that happens, it's because you have something within us, that creates that experience. I'm coming from a different place, which you also can do. So if you have experienced the same, it might be that you have something within that creates the cancellation, but it's actually there for you to learn what creates it. Because when you do, you go into a creation mode that's completely new. And from that place on, you can do different things that you couldn't do before. It was like not meant for you to do that thing in that place. You just needed to go over the bump that was holding you back, basically. Like, it was this system is telling you that no, you can't create in this way. You have to change something, create from a new place, which is more empowered or better. So what I decided to do is to content create full time. From now on, I'm going to be content create on both on YouTube and TikTok, and it's like, that's what I wanted all the time. But I had this shit inside of me that kept me being canceled all the time, because I was subconsciously all the time, I was self-sabotaging without even knowing that I was sabotaging. So this like canceling culture that goes on right now, it's actually for people to heal and look at themselves. Why are they not being seen? Because this whole thing is about you being seen in all of your glory, in all of your aspects, in all of your shame, in all of your feelings and emotions. And when you can't do that, in my hallucination, that's where like all the joy and all the juices. So I'm super excited about this. I love this shit. You know, I've been doing it, but kind of like on and off, and I haven't really, where we come with a decision inside of us, I realized that I haven't took the decision of actually doing it. I was doing it, but at the same time, I was not 100% dedicated of doing it. That's where the bufo got me. Like, Michael, you need to decide that you are a content creator, because that's what you are. Everything else you do after, you coach and you do retreats and you sell crystals and you sell different type of detoxes and all of the things, that is the byproduct of the showing up in front of the camera, or showing up in front of other people, or showing up in front of your family, because it's all about you allowing yourself to be seen. When you are okay with being seen, you won't be canceled. I'm gonna prove that. So if you don't believe me, follow here, remember this one, and you will see me later that won't happen, because I will not create from that place anymore, and you can also do the same. So I have a huge change, surprise, we do it with a partner. I met a person that I just totally love. And it's like I have this amazing experience where we basically read our own minds. It feels like we have been on the same path and wanting to do the same thing. And then a while ago, this person stepped into my life, and I want to introduce her to you in the next video. We're living off-grid in a beautiful place here in Mexico, and things have just changed dramatically. I haven't been on for quite some time, but now it feels like, you know, yin and yang, when you kind of like one person is here and the other person is here, and you kind of like, it like one person is good at one thing and the other person is good at another thing, and you come together and all of a sudden it creates a team, and you can do things that you couldn't do before. So I'm super excited to share all those things, and I would love to share with you. Her name is Mariana. I'm gonna show it to you later. I did 3 simple things to break and change and understand why I was basically canceling myself. Realizing that I was canceling myself. I thought that it was the system, but it was actually created from my own experience. And that realization itself is worth gold. But here's the 3 things that I did. First, I needed to realize what I was doing. And that I did through a bufo session where we smoked plant medicine. And in that session, I basically put the camera up and I smoked, and I had the realization of what I was doing. The whole thing was about me not accepting being seen. So when I don't accept myself to be seen because of things that happened when I was a child, my needs weren't met and there was a blah blah, we can take that in another video. But when I haven't accepted myself to be seen, then how can anyone see me or want to see me if I don't want to see myself? It's a super deep realization. And after that I was like, shit, it was a lot of fear combined to being seen, and like, what are they gonna think now? Maybe what happened if they put some claim against me that I was doing something wrong, or there was something wrong that I said. And if I constantly believe that I have something subconsciously wrong with what I'm saying, my reality will respond to that, and it kind of like showed me in my face like, okay, me. And that was a message to me, but also for everyone as a person to kind of like look at and what is actually going on there. So that was like step number 1. Step number 2, which I am a super fan of, and I think it's a concept that I've been dealing with for quite some time, and that's past life regression. It's the fact that we are kind of like born in a new body over time. So like Michael lives in this and you live in this body, and when you die your soul goes into another body, and in that body you become another person called Anders, and you live in Norway, for example. That whole idea of we being reborn in another body, when you do the past life regression, you can see that what's been going on. And in my case, I was actually killed for speaking up. And in this lifetime I had problem, I done surgery on my throat, and I had problems speaking up as younger before I started my healing journey. So what happened was that past life thing connected to this reality, and because it was dangerous for me to being seen in the past life. And if I was seen, I was basically killed, and the people around me was also killed. So it means that I shouldn't speak up, for example. So when you then, step number 2, see that it's not true and it's safe now in this reality, you're not going to be killed. And then the last step is on paper, basically. You rewrite the story. You rewrite the old story, what my beliefs was and what was going on in my head. And then you basically look at it and it's like, oh shit, that story has been on repeat in my mind. Of course I felt like I was not worthy of being seen, or being seen is dangerous and I might be killed, or whatever that story was. And then you take that story and you basically bury it, and you take a new piece of paper and you write the new story. How do I want my life to look? How do I want to express? How do I want to feel? What do I want to do? And how do I want to live my life? And from that place on, now you have it on paper, so you can't deny it. And like, if you need to remind yourself, you can take that story and look at it and say, hey, you know, actually this is what I want to do. So when you do those simple 3 things, what will happen is that you will change both how you feel about yourself, and that feeling will change how the matrix reality will respond to you, and therefore you can create in a new place where you don't get canceled, and you can keep saying the things that you want to express but in a different way. Self-acceptance and acceptance itself is letting go of something. So if you want to let go of the old story and the old idea that I was supposed to get killed and the subconscious pattern that was going, I need to accept, because when I accept, I let go. And the only way we can change is to take responsibility over ourselves. And that is to own the fact that I felt that it was not okay to be seen, or it was dangerous to be seen, or whatever that realization is. That is where the meat is. And if you can't come to the point where you actually accept and take responsibility for, because it can be shame around like feeling that way. And if you don't allow yourself to accept and feel that, you can also not grow and change it. Like you're stuck. To conclude this is that the risk of being seen is probably the most profound and important things. If we don't risk being seen in our full glory of who we really are, it's like wearing a mask and pretending to be someone, and in the end, we're gonna all be depressed. Then the body will need deep rest. Go check out our links below. We have some retreats upcoming, and we have some bunch of stuff around healing. So go check out the link there, and I see you in the next video.